Welcome back to my channel. I'm Matt, the creator of Airbnb Uncovered.com and Airbnb Superhost. On this channel, I uncover some of the best kept hosting secrets, as well as share with you everything that I've ever learned after hosting over 3,000 guests. On this video, we're going to talk about a rather difficult topic: refunds during COVID-19. The COVID-19 pandemic is making things extremely tough for Airbnb hosts, especially when it comes to deciding whether or not to offer full refunds. As I see it, you basically have four options for guests who are asking for a full refund when your refund policy does not allow for it. The first is not to provide any refund at all. The second is to provide a credit for a future stay. The third is to provide a partial refund beyond your refund policy. And fourth is to provide a full refund. Sadly, for many of us, the stark reality of COVID-19 means that our finances are hurting so badly that we just can't afford to provide a full refund, even though we'd love to. To soften this blow, I'm allowing my guests to keep their non-refundable amounts as a credit towards a future stay. You have to be a bit careful when offering a credit, and you'll need to put in place a few stipulations to protect yourself. I recommend that you stipulate that the credit is non-refundable, non-redeemable for cash, non-transferable, subject to availability, and dependent on my hosting business continuing. I'm also recommending that guests who are ineligible for a full refund to continue to visit the Airbnb COVID-19 Extenuating Circumstances policy page to see if their reservation qualifies at a later date, since Airbnb is continuously updating this policy. But outside of this, I'm pretty much staying true to my cancellation policy and not breaking it. If a guest is looking to receive a refund for travel that is after May 31st, then they're asking me to break my refund policy. I know this sounds very bureaucratic and non-hospitable, and I didn't come to this position lightly. But bear with me and let me explain. This has been and is one of the hardest decisions that I've ever made. If you're in this boat, you know the same feeling and the angst and stress that comes along with it. I've rationalized staying firm on my cancellation policy in a few ways. The first is that hosts cannot be expected to act as a travel insurance provider. At the time of booking, guests were presented with your refund policy. And if you're watching this video, it means that you likely have a strict policy, or at the very minimum, a flexible one. Guests knew their reservation was largely non-refundable at the time of booking. And if they wanted to hedge their bet, then they should have purchased travel insurance. Again, I know it sounds harsh, but it's true. The second way I'm rationalizing this is that COVID-19 is no one's fault. The entire world is in this together, and as such, we will bear the costs in one shape or another. This is already happening with large relief packages from governments around the world. Over the coming years, collectively, we're going to have to pay this back through taxes. And your Airbnb isn't much different. Generally speaking, your guests had the funds to travel at the time of booking. And this suggests that they're likely not as financially vulnerable as those who are truly living paycheck to paycheck. My thinking here is that these guests can afford to cover some of the financial costs since they could afford to travel in the first place. You are, however, supporting them by providing more than half back. It's the full cleaning fee and half the nightly rate. This is a pretty fair arrangement for something that is completely out of both guests and hosts' control. Plus, I'm offering the non-refundable amount as a credit towards a future stay. By this point, you're probably thinking that I'm being greedy and unfair. How can I know that all of my guests' financial situation is decent? I don't, and I'm fully expecting to make exceptions when I see that the situation merits one. To help me decide, I send a message to my guests explaining that I'm financially unable to provide them with a refund, although I really wished I could. I base my decision on whether or not to provide a full refund based on the guest's response, their profile, and the messages that I've received up until that point. This is where full refunds and partial refunds come into play. Depending on the situation of my guest and my ability to secure replacement bookings, then in some instances, I'm providing a full refund or providing more than the 50% of the nightly rate as the refund. Sadly, after dealing with dozens of guests over this issue, I can tell you that some of your guests are going to get downright nasty with you, while others are going to be so understanding that they're going to gladly split the costs 50-50 with you and not question it. Sadly, the nasty ones have outweighed the understanding ones, though. It's a tough decision, but I have to balance the needs of putting food on the table and doing what I'd rather do, which is to give a full refund. Question: how are you dealing with refunds in your hosting business? Share it in the comments below so that we can learn from each other. I decided to make this video because making the decision to not refund my guests beyond my refund policies was without question the hardest decision I've ever made for my hosting business. And I know many of you are facing the same struggle, so I wanted to share my experience with you. As I see it, you have basically 4 options. No refund at all, provide a credit for a future stay, offer a partial refund beyond your refund policy, or offer a full refund. I hope this video will help you choose the option that is the best for your unique hosting business. If you found this video helpful, then please give it a thumbs up, rate it 5 stars if you're asked, and subscribe to my channel. Please don't forget to click on the notification bell. Stay tuned for a new video coming out on Tuesday. Thanks again for watching, and bye for now.